like they do it, maybe that they're at least to learn and believe.
She died due to natural causes. She already had a health condition. She was put up for adoption. And she was adopted when she was in 7th grade or 6th, very later in life.
You don't feel more connected also. Like if you're a child and you're adopted and then you grow up and you're adopted, it's too different.
She still had a family and the family really practices in a childhood friend.
I'm just saying there's a difference now.
That's fine.
You can.
No, I'm fine. I cried when she died, of course.
Yeah.
You know, I still remember in graduation day comparing practices every Saturday. We would go to school. She would sit with us like in the comparers room and she would like sponsor biscuits. She would give us biscuits and she would like laugh and giggle. I just remember all nice things about her. She was never the person you would not like. Everybody liked her. She was all laughy, giggly. You remind me of her. You know, you look like her. You do. She would play violin very beautifully. She was the opener for our orchestra. She could play entire songs in all different rhythms on simply on her violin.
That's like talented.
She was really talented. That's a talent we lost too. She was heavily cherished by our principal. She would play violin so beautifully. She must be upset. It would be so good.
That teacher, she speaks and it doesn't even go inside my ear.
Yeah, it just
like
flows out.
Yeah, it's like someone just speaking gibberish to you.
Oh yeah, that happened when in MA
I'm like,
opening.
I'm like, what kind of thing?
She talks like Anurag but worse. Yeah, Anurag doesn't make sense in my head. Okay? He just does it.
Classically cockroach, right? When we came, and after that, even the next person came here. Mama, cockroach. They were running like that.
I hate you. You're my favorite hating person.
Yeah. I told about yours. I think Bobby just thinks he can keep you. I say, okay. But it was like sending him home. I told you. I said, okay, get it.
Mom is hard.
And then like Sunday, he was like, Mama, it's like, you're like, okay.
See, now you can come to my birthday parties without your mother questioning.
Yeah. There's a birthday.
बहुत लेट है तुम सबको आने ही
नहीं, that's why.
7th October.
When is November?
When is December? Ask moment. तो लास्ट के 3 महीने में बहुत वेट करना पड़ता है.
Exactly.
ऐसा लगता है तुम्हारा बर्थडे 2 साल पे आ रहा है.
2008 में ना, मैं 2009 में से कोई भी पूछो पढ़ा ही है. अरे छोटियां ना चुप रहे. मेरे स्कूल में everyone does that. Like छोटी. अरे people think हमारे कितना
छोटी है चुप रहे.
2009
छोटी है चुप रहे.
हाँ तू छोटी है. तू भी 8 में.
अरे छोटी है ना चुप रहे.
नहीं
छोटी है ना चुप रहे. हम क्या नहीं छोटी है ना चुप.
छोटी तो तू
छोटी है
तो तू छोटी है ना.
छोटी है ना चुप रहे.
देख सिद्धि देख
भाई 4/12/2008.
4 November.
Oh, 9/11.
अरे मैं मम्मा से तो बोलता है.
You're not born on the same date. Is she drinking tea? Is she not classic? She from. She came.
How what?
Hello, ma'am.
Today.
Can we do civics? My exams are coming. We need to complete the chapter.
We have started that history, no?
No, we
not
finished. We finished French Revolution and
National
Russian.
No. No, today just now I saw that Nazism was written.
We are doing Nazism in our school.
We
No,
were
we were
like
like
civics.
Yes, which lesson?
Chapter 1 and 2 both are coming in my exam.
When?
Tuesday.
So that is
Two
why
to 3
next week you people are not having class.
Next Saturday, no, so our exam will be over. No, like the SST one will be over.
What is our next Saturday?
Next Saturday, no, this next week. I couldn't find that one timetable for CBSE students. That is
Probably last of all.
because of their exam. Okay. We will
Can you start with constitutional design instead of what democracy?
what democracy? Why democracy you don't want?
No, we want constitutional design.
Okay, no problem. I don't have.
It's fine with everyone, right?
Yeah, my what democracy is over also.
Yeah.
Exam is also done. Yeah, same.
I have this in my exam, that's why I need to do this.
Okay.
I brought
History. So you just give
We
me
share
if
one.
any textbook is there?
textbook.
Political science.
I was studying it at home. I should have brought it.
Because textbook if it is there, no, so I prefer this.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I saw.
See, listen. Why she did not come?
No idea.
I have. Her legs are paining.
Exam.
Legs are paining very much.
Okay.
I called to ask her not coming. Yeah.
Today.
Because
Yes, what is constitutional design? Any idea?
Maybe how to form a constitution.
The design of the constitution. Okay. Okay. Framework of the constitution. What it contain? All these things. But our lesson is not begin with that design or what are the features or like that. Our lesson begins with a beautiful incident. The story is about Nelson Mandela. Have you heard about Nelson Mandela?
Yes.
Who was he?
He was a leader in
Africa, South African. South African freedom fighter. Okay. See, I am going to write it here. South African freedom fighter. So, what is the reason for that South African
racism.
racism? Okay.
Against the
So, there was a condition prevailed in South Africa called apartheid. You just see, check out the spelling.
yeah, that's correct.
Correct, no? I used to write it I first and then E. That is why I am confused. Once you check.
Yeah, that's how you spell it.
Yeah, I'm similar with this.
Correct. Okay. What is apartheid? Do you know? What is apartheid?
Apartheid is a system of racial discrimination where people of white skin were considered superior to people of colored skin.
Okay. See, according to that tense condition, there were three colored people or three sections of people, three races we can say. One is that black majority, white minority, and the third section is the colored people. They were the Asian people who migrated there. Okay, so these were the three sections of people. Now, what's the problem? The white minority dominate over the black majority. They segregate the people on the basis of the color.
And the blacks were discriminated against.
So they were not given any type of freedom in their own land. Then naturally we think that okay, in our land also, our country also, So our country, when foreigners dominated India, there was a different kind of condition. But at the same time, caste system was also like that only. Isn't it? Untouchability, caste discrimination. Okay, now against this apartheid, apartheid means so much exclusion and so much separatist activities were followed. And under the leadership of this Nelson Mandela, they started a movement called a party they formed. That party is called ANC, African National Congress, to fight for their rights. 1964, he was imprisoned, and after 28 years, he was released. So that many years, for this fight against the whites, he and his supporters had to be in jail. When we hear about Gandhiji, Gandhiji was also there. Gandhiji supported that movement of this Nelson Mandela and the others. He supported that black majority. And finally, when Rajaji called him, then only he returned to India. So, so African National Congress then imprisoned. All these things, background you understood, no? Now, after so many years, that so many methods of agitation have taken place, and many countries turned against this white regime. Even India also started a social and economic boycott against that country. And the country was forced to give independence, and that country became an independent country. When it became an independent country, when they got freedom, you just mark that point. They got independence in April 1994. Okay? April 1994. It's this. Yes. Then Africa, that date and all, it was there. That is when is its independence. That date is given in the textbook.
No, it was 1994.
That's so recent.
No,
They just got independence like
1910 they started that kind of.
so it took them almost a decade to get independent.
So much they had to go through. Then only finally, because of the compulsion from the world countries.
That's not a decade, like 8 decades. 1910.
A
ma'am.
century, almost a century.
She meant that. But
now samjho.
okay. Now you got that textbook that the date is given. When they hoisted that flag.
27th April 1994.
No, 27th April is that he become. That is.
Oh yeah. Whole election.
That is he become the president. FWD clerk. Okay. But you have to remember that April only, that 2nd April or that exact date is given in the textbook. You should remember. This one, I want a textbook with me. Okay. Now our this same question is that when this country got independence after long struggle, the people of South Africa did a very beautiful thing. That is constitution making. That is naturally in our country also constitution making. But what was the difference? They accommodate that people, the whites who exploited them for century, also included in that. They accommodated them. They sat together and made the constitution. That is why it is said in your
It's called
textbook.
Rainbow Nation, right?
Huh?
Isn't it called Rainbow Nation?
South Africa is called that only I was going to tell.
Yeah.
So that is that the constitution when it is made, it is written binding glue of the rainbow nation. Means you can do, you are having the choice. Either you exclude the whites and you make your own constitution and rule. When we did, what we did? We
eradicated
made
them out of the country.
that is British, you go out of our country and we are going to. But South Africans, what they did, they accommodated them.
They made them citizens.
So they sat together in front of the round table and discussed and frame a constitution, and they were ready to accept them. That is, the rulers and the ruled sat together and framed the constitution. So that is why South African constitution is considered as the world's best constitution. Because nobody will be ready to accept and accommodate.
They would not take their oppressor a part of the constitution.
Yes. So after 2 years of debate and discussion, they came out with one of the finest constitution in the world have ever had. Understood? So they wanted all the things to be included in the constitution. For that, they want to learn from them. That is why they were ready to accommodate. But both sides showed maturity and agreed on many compromises. The whites agreed to the principle of majority rule. So who are the majority? Blacks. Then they also agreed to some basic rights for the poor and the workers. Underline and mark that point so that you can learn. The blacks agreed that a majority rule would not be absolute. They are not going to suppress the rights of the minority. They also agreed that the majority would not take away the property of the white minority. All these things they have agreed. Okay. A set of rules. So now let's come constitution. What is constitution? You got these points clearly? Am I fast?
No.
So because so many things I have to cover, you told about exam and one day only. So that is why.
That's fine. How much ever we can do, that's fine. I'll do the rest.
So what is a constitution? Yes, what happened?
No, a set of rules and regulations followed by the government is known as constitution.
So followed by the government, not only that the government, we also have to. That to bind us together. Understood? We are also part of it.
Constitution is the framework of functioning of any country, right?
That is also it is also a set of rules.
Apply to everyone.
Everyone.
Not
See, it is not, see, you told about they are ruling. But we gave them right to rule. We elect them. So all the conditions are included in it. That is what the constitution. This is a set of basic rules laid down based on the agreements. Means when the constitution of ours were made, like that happened. They have sat together and worked for almost 3 years to frame it. Okay. Now, so
91.
our constitution
was made 1950 and implemented in 51.
No, wait. 1946 they started the work, and 1949 November 26 they have completed and implemented on 1950 January 26. Okay. The reason is so I will tell you. So this much is understood or not?
Yes.
So this is one agreement, basic set of rules. Now, why do we need a constitution? So constitution is a set of rules according to which the country is governed. So in that rulers are there, ruled are there. So we agree upon to work together. That is what happened. So why do we need a constitution? See, we need a constitution to achieve many things. These points you underline. Page number 19, you take first. Why do we need a constitution? First thing is the definition. Constitution of a country is a set of written rules that are accepted by all people living together in a country. It is the supreme law that determines the relationship among the people living in a territory and also the relationship between the people and the government. I told you it's not only for the rulers, it is for. So now, why we need? First point, it generates a degree of trust and coordination that is necessary for different kind of people to live together. So we are agreeing based on a trust between these two sets. Which are the two sets?
Government and
governed. So governed and the government. So first you understood what is the first condition?
Yes.
It generates a degree of trust and
mutual
coordination. Now, second point. It specifies how the government will be constituted. That is, constituted. Who will have the power to take which decision? You have heard about legislature. Have you heard about the legislature?
Yes.
What is the power of legislature? Is the parliament. Okay. Lawmaking.
Yeah.
Legislature is
Lawmaking body.
Now, legislature is one of the agency. Now, the laws which are made by the legislature is executed by the
Executive.
Executive.
And enforced by the judiciary.
So, this is what written in the constitution. Who will do what? And what are the limitations? What is the jurisdiction? Nobody should encroach the other's area. So, all these things are clearly mentioned in the constitution. Clear? Now, third one. It lays down limits on the powers of the government and tells us what the right of the citizens are. We heard about fundamental rights. Heard or not?
Yes. Fundamental rights and duties.
Fundamental rights and duties. Then directive principles are there.
So what are directive principles?
It is the direction given to the government how they should. Okay. So fundamental rights. Can you give one fundamental right example?
Right to education.
Right to education.
Right to constitutional remedies.
Yes.
Right to freedom of
Right to expression.
Right to freedom include a cluster of freedoms.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freedom of expression.
Yes. Anyhow, that lesson is the.
Yeah.
So that is why we are not encroaching into that.
It was
now.
taught in 8th.
It
was taught in 8th.
It was there, but
Why is Siddhi so blatantly? Yeah, it was taught in 8th.
that not so detailed.
Okay, it was just the 6 points mentioned.
Mentioned only. But here we will study about. Yes, fundamental rights you understand.
Yeah.
Can you give an example of fundamental duty?
Duty to vote. That is a fundamental
We
duty.
need to respect others' rights.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
We
fundamental.
have to stand during the national.
Yes, respect national flag
Respect
and
to
national.
one's national anthem and
and the
symbol.
flag. Okay. Then the public property,
Yeah,
not to
yeah.
harm the public property. So these all things, because CBSE, according to its guidelines, this part is given so that mark is also allotted. Oh, that is your
Even on the NCRT page cover, it is given all the fundamental
duties, plus your mark is going, that 10th standard, when your internal mark is going to upload, so many parts are there. What you are doing in this one, the duty, how you are performing, what is your relation with your friends, what is the group, all those things teachers have to fill. Yes, yes.
National strength also.
Yes, yes.
If you are a bully, of course, they're not going to give you full marks.
No, the thing is that why this internals are included, that activities are there, presentations are there, group activities are there, group projects are given. Understood? So many topics are interdisciplinary topics.
Now I need to start making friends. Damn. Too late.
No, friends means, see,
Group activities.
Group activity
presentations.
time, that presentation time, the teacher is observing. What is your
Role in
yes. Okay, leave it. Because I was doing it for several years, so I know that.
You were a board corrector.
Yes.
How cool. You get to allot people's actual marks that matter. Is it very like how do we
20 years I corrected it.
are you given something which you correct off of, or like are you just supposed to know what's right?
See,
They'll give you online, no?
CBSE books, 9th and 10th syllabus, blindly I know. Because so many years I was teaching, 33 years is not a small.
Yeah, you practically just know every single page of the book.
Yes. I used to tell, no, this page it is
Yeah.
without that also. I am telling, no, this page it is there. I know it. Okay. But this, I hate that lesson, previous history lesson. That lesson only, I don't like it.
French
French?
Revolution.
No. French Revolution. I like.
Yeah, French Revolution is very fun.
Socialism. Socialism.
It is boring, it just stretches forever.
That is what. That is why I don't like. Because
The king of the king is coming and spoiling it on me.
but the thing is that beautiful lessons were there and they have removed that.
Hitler's gonna be nice.
Hitler's would be nice.
All hail Hitler.
Is it there
Hate
for us?
Eh?
There.
All hail
What?
Hitler.
That's not Nazism.
All hail Hitler.
This side.
We are Nazis. We are soft Nazis.
Yes. Come. See what we were discussing about fundamental duties also. Then these all are included in the constitution. Next, fourth point, it expresses the aspiration of the people about creating a good society. Now, how our society to be there, that aspirations, that is, we are thinking about our society would be like that.
Yeah, we hope for it to be around this way.
See, in our constitution it is like that because we don't write after accomplishing it. We are having a dream about it.
Yeah.
And
The
how
aspects of liberty, equality.
these all things are included so that we will try to achieve it. So that is why our aspiration. See, you think that your society should be like this. Your building should be like this. So this is what your imagination. So that is what the aspirations of the people are also included in the constitution. Got that four aspects included in the constitution. Now we are going to make our constitution. What are the stages of making? Okay. The first stage of making the constitution is that 1928, Motilal Nehru prepared a draft. Motilal Nehru means Jawaharlal Nehru's father.
Yeah, he was a barrister. Barrister means lawyer.
At that time, that was the
And
title.
he got the degree from London.
Yes.
How prestigious.
Many got degrees from London, America,
And it was Jawaharlal Nehru to take the degree from. He went there.
How mean. How mean.
So Jawaharlal, you have to be alert.
You do what I do.
See the path of making, because we before making that little bit background, let us go. See, we were struggling against the British. So much difficulties we had to overcome. So much, it was not very easy. That that is okay. We just went to that British and asked them to get independence or give independence, and they immediately give like that. No,
It took us years of struggle.
so that in the struggle also, during the struggle also, so many difficulties they had. So it was in a difficult circumstance only we were planning about a constitution. So see, if everything is in front of you, that is, you are sitting to have your dinner, so many varieties are there in front of you, and you have to have it only. So there is means everything is kept ready, and you have to take it only. So you don't have to think about that is this I don't like it, that I don't like. Everything is kept. You choose it and have it. But India was in a difficult circumstance. That is, many types of problems India was facing. And that difficult circumstance, making a constitution is difficult. The Muslims were demanding for a separate state, and so many types of problems were going on. And there were some people who were very peacefully struggling. Ahimsa, non-violence were there. At the same time, revolutionary type of methods. A revolutionary type of struggle was there. At the same time, there is some little violent, but it was not able to show outside. So resistance within the Constituent Assembly, Legislative Assembly. So all these circumstances were there.
When the Muslim party wanted a different state, Mahatma Gandhi was so disturbed by it that he didn't have food.
No, that's all.
Till the time it was normalized.
So many stages are there. When we study about the nationalist movement or independence struggle, these all events were there, part of it.
But he was the one who easily gave them another
Yeah,
country.
no.
Before that.
No. Why? There was what we are seeing or hearing, we cannot believe.
Many
Because-
of it is just political propaganda that people
Political propaganda. So we heard that this Mahatma Gandhi and Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose are rivals.
Yeah.
They were not.
Not.
That's what everyone says. That
Propaganda is given, politicized that
Certain
topic.
political parties would like to promote their beliefs of the freedom struggle to make them seem like the more favorable party rather than the Congress. That's why they promote such
Many things are there, but so many things are there. See, I don't want to. When I start telling, means many ways I will express that.
What's the time?
Eh?
55.
Okay,
Mom, I'll
listen.
excuse myself to the washroom and be back really quickly.
So the first stage of that
You can
drafting.
ask ma'am, you just excuse yourself.
Oh,
Me,
may
I
I use the
You can
washroom?
ask ma'am to excuse you.
Oh yeah, she did now. Thanks.
So 1928, Motilal Nehru and 8 others drafted a constitution. This is what the first thing. 8 others means the Congress members.
Was there not Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel also in that?
Sardar Vallabhbhai
Or
Patel.
he was the main leader who.
I will tell you. You just state, at least you mark and you will forget. So the first stage.
Yeah, 18.
He's over 20 or something.
Drafted.
No, wait.
Yeah.
There's
20.
Because I am not telling in that page order or paragraph order, I am telling only the important things. Understood? The first stage is in 1928. Motilal Nehru and 8 others drafted a draft of it. Draft means what all contents to be there.
Like a rough.
It was not a full constitution,
Exactly, but
but some main
basic idea.
that is what the first stage. Then 1931 Karachi session make
Should look like this.
uh,
Should look like.
means how the constitution to be, because you have to understand India was ruled by kings. Understood? Kingship was not having any constitution.
Yeah, this is.
Kingship was, that is, kings used to rule according to their likes.
Yeah.
Now we wanted to have a democratic form of government. Now how it should be, that is democratic form, a constitution is an essential thing, and how that to be, that is what it look like. Understood? So second is 1931 Karachi session resolution.
It's good. You have to climb and do it. Thank you. Okay, my jacket got stained.
Okay. Both these documents were having a universal adult franchise concept, values, all those basic points are included in this. Okay, now 19 elections were held in 1937 to provincial legislatures and ministers of all over British India. These were not fully democratic governments, but the experience gained by the Indians in the working of the legislative institutions proved to be very useful. See, Indians, what they did, while working under the British, they tried to gain maximum knowledge about democratic ideas. How democracy or democratic government work. They gained the maximum knowledge. See, in 1937, elections were held, provincial governments were formed, and maximum provinces, Congress formed the government. So they gained knowledge while working under the British. Got it clear? Then afterwards, next stage, we know that the nationalist movements were going on. At the same time, Second World War also had taken place. In between, what was the condition? 1940. Muslim League demanded for a separate state. Okay. Second World War was going on, 1939 to 1945, Second World War was going on. So this time, Muslim League demanded for a separate state. That is what two-nation theory. What was that? Called a two-nation theory. India is not one nation, India is of two nations.
That was the theory. They made it up.
Muslim League told that India is that is majority is of Hindus, so Hindus and Muslims cannot stay together. That is what the Muslims told. So much problems they have created. So then I have told Second World War was going on. 1940, the Muslim League demanded for that two-nation theory. Then, when the war was going on, Indians could not do much, but it did not this thing participate in the Second World War also. During 1942, what was that? Do you remember one incident? Quit India movement.
Yeah.
Understood. So, Quit India movement started. Then, 1945 Second World War ended and a new government came to power in Britain. The new government was in favor of giving freedom to India. So they sent a commission and they sent one group of ministers. That was in 1946, cabinet mission. What is cabinet mission? That is, cabinet ministers were sent to India.
For what?
To make India, that is to offer that we are going to give India before 1948. But we will give freedom only to a government. So you have to frame that. अभी देखो ये पोर्टल के ऊपर इंडिपेंडेंस दे सकते हैं क्या? A government is required, no?
So that's why
That is what a stage I am telling. So cabinet mission was sent to India, and they made an offer that you just frame that constitution. That is why a constituent assembly to be formed. Understood? The suggestion of the cabinet mission was to form a constituent assembly. What is the aim of the constituent assembly? To frame the constitution. Understood? So constituent assembly is formed to frame constitution. Now for that they have to conduct elections. Just like that they cannot. So provincial councils were made to select the people to conduct election to the Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly was formed including every section. Every region was also included. Because before an election, that is okay, in our present election, what is happening? Every region MPs are getting elected. So that time it was not possible. That is why from every province, the people were selected and included in the Constituent Assembly. Is it clear?
Ma'am, do you know who is the opposition leader for Modi?
Now that
Sonia
Kharge,
Opposition minister.
opposition minister, no, that is
Opposition
leader.
yeah.
Leader.
Sonia Gandhi.
No, Sonia Gandhi.
Sonia Gandhi is not even in politics.
Yes,
That's
she
prominent
is
in
So she was the previous leader.
No, she did not enjoy any post. She told that I don't want to enjoy any post. Kharge.
Khage.
That is the leader from the Congress who is chosen.
How will he even get?
Eh?
How will he even get vote? Well, Modi will only get na because he has promised that India till I guess the next year in his third term will become the third nation.
His promises are very out of pocket. You just
He's trying his best now.
yeah.
Better than any other leader did.
See, India is progressing, but is India keeping its promise of secularism? That's where we lose now. India is progressing maybe in economic. India is progressing economically, but in general, as a population, we are not progressing towards any form of unity. We are just growing further apart.
100%.
First time someone has agreed with me.
No.
I
The
disagree, though, but
experiences of
I'm
other-
not interested in arguing right now.
He disagrees. See, people disagree with my idea.
What is your disagreement?
I don't.
Should we have
I'm
a
not,
debate or what?
I'm not interested
In
this
politics.
conversation right now.
Ah,
I would argue about this later, not right now.
okay. I understand. I also, but annoying because when 10th standard and all political parties are the unknowingly used to be involved in. Some questions will come. I don't want, I'm afraid also. Okay. So this one you understood, no? From every provinces representatives were chosen and every community the representatives were included. Those whose representatives were not elected were selected on the basis of that community because they all should represent. For example, Zoroastrian, Parsi community, Anglo-Indian community, every sections were included so that their needs also can be represented. That is the beauty. So it included all. How many members were there? When the
89, right?
beginning, when it was formed, 389 members were there.
Later it was 310, right?
Because Pakistan wanted to make us their own.
Hardly some members from.
Yes, as Muslim.
There are so many communities, na sabko connect kar rahe. A small
Yeah.
community made their own nation, so they were
Yes. So 389 members were there, and it was formed in the month of July 1946. When it was formed, July 1946. How many members are there? 389. Then the first meeting was held in December 1946. Even though it was formed in July,
It took time to make the first meeting.
First meeting. Because they have to bring every person from that different regions to one place. So that is why the first meeting was
Two, my bad.
Then after that, it was the idea came to that Muslim or Muslim League that they are going to divide India into two. So that is why the Muslims or Muslim League break up from that Constituent Assembly, and later on, that is the numbers 299 members only were. Okay? 389 say
299.
299. Understood? So first meeting was held in December 1946.
Was there number of people came for the meeting?
No. This many people were part of preparing. Others, for making that Pakistan's constitution.
Yeah, what is the option?
Go.
Ma'am, what about there were 308 members in the 1947? But how did 299 over here?
See, 299 participated in the constitution making.
Others
Others than
Yes, because we know that when parliament is meeting, parliament there are this many members. That is parliament 550 legislatures. That is MPs. Okay, all are not involved in the process. So how many are voting? How many are in favor? How many are against? That is only
We
coming
need
out.
to do MUN for that.
Understood?
United Nations.
Yeah, it has many communities.
Actually, United Nations.
Modern United.
Now, here, Constituent Assembly was formed. Who was the president of the Constituent Assembly? Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
He was the first president to
Yeah.
See, that is what afterwards election held in 1951 only. No?
Yeah.
So that is good. So, who was the president of the that Constituent Assembly?
Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
Now, drafting committee chairman who?
It was
Dr. Chairman of drafting committee, okay? Dr. Ambedkar. I am just writing that much, yeah? So, what is the difference between the whole Constituent Assembly was chaired by Dr. Rajendra Prasad?
And Dalit, Ambedkar.
Dalit. So, here you understood the difference? Clear. So, then that your Constituent Assembly, after a period of about 29th August 1947, the Constituent Assembly appointed drafting committee under the chairmanship of. So, which day that this person was appointed? 29th August 1947. Okay. So, what is that? 1947 August 15th, we got independence.
Yeah.
So then afterwards only that draft work was done. Then, after a period of about 6 months, the committee prepared a draft Constitution of India by February 1948. So, draft Constitution, when it come?
February 1948.
February 1948. Now, this stages you have to underline at least first this dates, numbers and all. Then, the Constituent Assembly met in November 1948. So, this draft came and in November 1948, the Constituent Assembly met again. What was that aim of that? The work of second reading. Do you know that what is first reading, second reading, and
Yes.
third?
Yeah, it is done in the parliament.
Yes.
It is once sent for amendment, then came back. Changes are made, then it comes back. And
First part is the introduction of a bill.
yeah, bill.
So any member can be. But here drafting committee is already there. No. So the drafted constitution was presented. So that happened in November 1948. Clear? So then that is called first reading. Introducing that. Then only the discussions, debates and all will take place. Got it?
Yeah.
Next.
The Lok Sabha.
That here Lok Sabha was not there.
Doing it to get a reaction at this point.
So that time Lok Sabha was not there. Only Constituent Assembly was there.
After the formation of Constitution, Legislative Assembly.
No, I'm talking about the current situation.
Yes. Current situation you can.
She just has fun and then she corrects herself.
Okay. So a bill is introduced. That is called first reading. Now second reading is the debate and discussion. So that when it is started, the work of second reading of the different clauses was completed by 17th October. Sorry, 17th October 1948.
17 October 1949.
49, eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're illegal.
Second reading. So this time second reading completed. Okay. Now, after afterwards, October complete kiya. Then the third reading is put to vote. That is the third reading. So everything discussion, every work is over. Then the last stage is voting.
Is approval.
Yes. So that is called the third reading. Are you getting?
Yes.
So third reading is completed on
26 November
1949. So in our preamble, the last part is written. Do adopt, enact, and give ourselves this constitution on 26th. This day of November 26th, 1949. Understood? So that clause is added. So when it was the 26th November 1949. So it is prepared completely.
We prepared the constitution over a span of 2.5 years, but the committee barely went for 100 days.
119 days or something only
It
there.
must be written somewhere, right?
Yes. See, it took about
140
2
years,
Ah.
not 2.5. It took almost 3 years, and only went for 114 days. What were we doing the rest of the days of the year?
This days and all number you just mark and give. Now, why this one is given 26th November 1949? Then we kept to about 2 months time to implement it. Why it was?
Yeah.
There is a reason.
People should know also what they are.
No. Actually, there is a reason. See, when we were fighting against the British, 1929, Lahore session of the Congress, they have taken 2-3 decisions. One of the decision was that every year 26th January would be celebrated as Independence Day. Independence Day. That time Republic, no. Republic, there is a meaning.
Yeah.
So, 19...
Yes, ma'am. India declared independence on 26 January 1920.
Okay.
I don't
So,
remember.
1930 January 26th onwards,
Yes,
they were celebrating Independence Day without getting independence. So, they used to take Independence Day pledges every year. So, then 1947, they got 2 days of independence.
How foolish.
January 26 already they celebrated.
And then later on in the
Then
year.
1947 actual independence came.
Oh no, we are too stuck.
August 15, actual independence. So they decided that this would be adopted on this January 26th, and that day we would become a republic. Republic is a state in which the head is elected by the people.
Yeah.
Understood? So head of the government, head of the country is elected by the people.
President.
So that day is considered, decided to adopt that constitution.
So after 2 months it happened.
Yes. Clear? So 1950, January 26th, we implemented that constitution, and that day we celebrate as Republic Day. Now, we did not conduct any election, but the Constituent Assembly selected Pandit Nehru, that is Jawaharlal Nehru, to be the Prime Minister. Because British cannot hand over the power to somebody. There is no Raja, there is no king to hand over. So we made a constitution, so the power to be handed over. So the Constituent Assembly selected a person to administer the country, and that person was the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
So Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was selected as the Prime Minister without actual election.
People's consensus was not taken, but it was in majority.
It was there. That is, Constituent Assembly was elected like that only. Now people agree upon one opinion. Okay.
Why do you keep giving me side eyes, Siddhi?
Okay. Siddhi is having that Siddhi. The name is like that, no?
Siddhi means something you accomplish.
Okay.
How cultured are you? No, that's not your Siddhi. Please focus on SST.
Yes, got it?
Agreeing with people's opinion.
Agree upon
a decision.
single decision.
You all need to join MUS.
Okay. Now, what happened? This one, that Constituent Assembly President, that is Chairman of the Constituent Assembly, was made as the President without electing the President. So,
Presidents are never really elected by the people anyway.
He is elected by the Prime Minister.
No, elected by the
process is there. There is one electoral college.
Yes.
Consists of MPs and MLAs.
Yeah.
So we are electing the MLAs, we are electing the MPs, and they are electing the
Yeah.
So indirect. Okay.
India does not give much heavy importance to the president, right? Why does everything like fall upon the prime minister?
Because
When
the president is the head of state.
has all the decision making when you dictatorship on
The difference is that Prime Minister is head of government, but President is head of state.
and all the military powers.
okay,
Armed forces actually.
yes, Siddhi. Definitely. Thank you, ma'am.
You very enjoyed it?
Yes.
But I was not able to
I like
complete
social
it.
science.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, that part I wanted to complete. You just go through.
Yes, ma'am.
If any problem is there, you just keep which day your exam.
It's on Tuesday.
This.
Yeah.
No. Today you just go through. Then if any need arise,
I'll ask for an extra, an
Extra,
urgent
huh.
extra lecture.
that Sunday you just contact that one that Dwarka madam.
Yeah.
So Sunday already I am having 2 lectures. No problem. And okay.
See this?
How did that happen? What? How did you know?
See, I'll show you something.
Same
Come now.
Okay, don't make this as well. I'll do something else. Okay.
I'm standing here. We are not exiting the gate until you're done.
Yeah.
What does it mean?